What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? The very messed up origins of Caroline. So I saw the thumbnail and that shit was just like, I already don't fuck with this movie, but a lot of y'all were commenting saying like, nah, that's the point. Like, you type shit. Like, all right, look, you know what I'm saying? I just fuck that movie. If you like it, that's cool, man. That's cool. But so yeah, it's like eerie or whatever, stop motion. Y'all were telling me. Anyways, so I saw the thumbnail and like, oh shit, I don't even have these bits on. But yeah, it seems fucked up. Like, it seems like the movie's origins. I mean, okay, I don't know what the fuck. Anyways.
The movie opens with a young girl named Coraline and her family moving into an apartment in a
it's
very
Coraline,
old house.
not Caroline.
Due to her neighbors being totally wackadoo and her parents working around the clock, Coraline finds herself alone and bored most of the time. But one night, she discusors that a tiny door, which she previously thought was sealed off
like, we already watched like the whole summary, honestly, like, for real. Yeah, we're not gonna watch all this.
Well on the edge of her property to discard the key, but the hand follows her out there and attacks her. Fortunately, her neighbor Wybie shows up in the nick of time.
Yeah, like, we already saw. What the fuck? Okay, we already saw this. We already saw this. Chapters 1 through 3.
Pretty similar to the movie.
Oh, there's a book.
Exploring every nook and cranny of her new home. She also has the same wackadoo neighbors as in the movie. The former actresses Miss Spink and Forcible, as well as the crazy man who lives upstairs and trains circus mice. But in the book, his name is Mr. Bobo instead of Mr. Bobinski, and we don't learn that until the very end. There's also some differences regarding the magic door. To start, she actually finds it in the very first sentence of chapter 1. And in this version, it's not a tiny door hidden behind wallpaper, but rather a big carved wooden door at the far corner of the drawing room. Later on in the chapter, she convinces her mom to unlock it, only to find out it's been bricked up from when the house was converted into apartments. Her mom then walks away without bothering to lock it because what's the point? Of course there was a point though, and that night when Coraline was lying awake in bed, she heard the door creak open. Then when she went to see what it was, she saw an eerie looking shadow speed down the hall. Now Coraline is way braver than I was as a kid, so she followed the shadow to the drawing room.
She's just
stupid. Found the door slightly ajar, but still sealed up with bricks. Then she closed the door, went back to bed, and had a dream where little black shapes with red eyes and sharp yellow teeth sang her a song. We are small, but we are we are many, we are small. We were here before you rose, we will be here when you fall. Not creepy at all.
I would have shit myself in my dreams.
Wandering around the property and has some
strange... Like, when you get, like, a scary dream or what, you, like, piss... Like, I would have not pissed about it. I would just shit the bed. Like, just... Like, I would have woke up and it's just to the scent. Like, it's... Like, what? Red eyes, yellow teeth, just black, like, figures, and then... We are small, but we are many. So it's like a little fucking gang of just red-eyed bitches. We are many, we are small. Alright, maybe you could just kick them, I don't know, a little punt them. We were here before you rose, we will be here when you fought? Yeah, what the fuck is that? No, fuck that.
At all. The next day, Coraline continues wandering around the property and has some strange interactions with her neighbors. First, there's Mr. Bobo, who delivers a message from the mice saying don't go through the door. What's interesting about this is that when he tells her that in the book, she acts like she doesn't know what he's talking about. But in the movie, she goes, oh, the one behind the wallpaper? I'm not sure why that change was made. Maybe they thought it'd be too contradictory and confusing for the kids watching, but that's just a guess. Coraline then has some tea with Miss Spink and Forcible, and they read her tea leaves, which apparently predict that she's in great danger. To protect her from this danger, Miss Spink gives her a little stone with a hole in it from a jar that's sitting on their mantle. You might remember that this happens much later in the movie, and the stone is seemingly carved out of old taffy. Now, for those curious about what this stone is supposed to be, let me shed some light on this mystery. Small stones with naturally created holes in their centers are called hag stones, witch stones, serpent eggs, or adder stones, and were once thought to possess several magical properties. By looking through the hole, one could supposedly see through witch disguises and traps. They could also be used as a cure for certain illnesses, prevent nightmares, and were generally worn as a charm to protect against witchcraft.
Yo, that's a Dragon Ball, dude. That's like, whatever.
The reason they were called adder stones has to do with how people thought they were made. An adder is a kind of snake, and many believe the stones were the hardened saliva of a large number of serpents massing together with the perforations being caused by their tongues. Just a bit different than being carved out of old expired taffy. So the next day, when Coraline is alone and bored at home, she unlocks the bricked up door once again. But this time, the door isn't bricked up. This time, it opened up to a large dark hallway that apparently smelled very old and very slow. So no bright blue light and wacky funhouse tunnel in this version. Naturally, Coraline entered the dark hallway.
It smelled...
hallway because why wouldn't you walk right into something that you thought was both ancient and alive? And on the other side, she found a house that looked exactly like hers with a few subtle differences, including brighter colors and more sinister looking paintings. And it's in this house that she meets her other mother, a woman that looks almost exactly like her mother, but she has paler skin, is taller and
y'all
thinner,
see her fingers?
and has buttons for eyes. The other mother is also far more nurturing than her real mother and made Coraline a delicious lunch. The girl was starving, so she sat down with both of her other parents and ate as much as she could. Then after lunch, she went to her room where she found the singing rats from her dream waiting under her bed and met the other Mr. Bobo, who was even stranger in this world than the last. Then Coraline went exploring.
Nah, fuck that. Like, why? Like, they're singing. Yo, what the fuck is this?
After going outside, Coraline runs into a...
See, this is why I don't fucking read. This is why I don't read shit. Like, what the...
black cat that she also found sneaking around her property in the real world. Only in the other world he talks, and he sounds about as pretentious as you'd imagine most cats to be. After a brief and irritating conversation with him, she walks down to the other Miss Spink Enforcible's apartment, where she watches the oddest theater performance she'd ever seen, alongside an audience of Scottish Terriers. There's some bad music playing, some nonsensical dialogue that sounds like it came straight out of Wonderland, and it ends with a knife-throwing stunt. Coraline is chosen to stand in front of a target with a balloon on her head, while a blindfolded Miss Forcible throws a knife at the balloon and
fuck that.
Personally, I
fuck
like
that.
this version a lot more than the ridiculous musical performance and trapeze act they for some reason replaced it with in the movie, but that's just me. After sitting back down, Coraline learns from one of the dogs in the audience that this act goes on literally forever, so she walks out. Afterwards, she returns to her other parents, who are waiting for her in the garden with huge, totally not terrifying smiles on their faces.
Bro, like,
the couple then tells Coraline that she could stay in their world always and forever if she agrees to have buttons sewn into her eyes. It's worth noting here, this is only Coraline's first visit to the other world, as we're in the movie, they don't propose this until her third visit. They stretched it out because, you know, the movie had to be longer than 45 minutes. Well, Coraline rejects this tempting offer pretty much instantly, can't imagine why, then returns through the magic door to her real home and locks it behind her. What's odd about when she gets back to the real world, though, is that her parents are nowhere to be found, and they still haven't returned by the next night. Around 4 a.m. the following morning, Coraline is woken up by the black cat swatting at her face. Then she follows him down the hall to a full-length mirror, and when she looks into it, she sees her parents staring back at her with great fear in their eyes. While she didn't like it, Coraline knew immediately what she had to do. She changed out of her pajamas, grabbed some candles for light and apples for food, and put the stone the old ladies gave her in her pocket. Also, while getting ready for her adventure, she tells the cat a little story, one I really like actually, and I wish they included it in the movie because it has a great message. To put it simply, one day while she was walking through a wasteland with her dad, they stepped on a wasp nest, and her dad told her to run away while he stayed behind so he would get stung and she wouldn't. Then, after they both had gotten away from the wasps, her father realized he dropped his glasses, so he had to go back and find them. And this is where my favorite line of the book comes in. He said that wasn't brave of him, just standing there and being stung. It wasn't brave because he wasn't scared. It was the only thing he could do. But going back again to get his glasses, when he knew the wasps were there, when he was really scared, that was brave. When you're scared but you still do it anyway, that's brave. That message repeats itself several times throughout the rest
that gave me goosebumps. Yo, that gave me goosebumps. That's they're homies, bro. Nah, for real. Like, listen, we're gonna run that shit back. That's code.
This is where my favorite line of the book comes in. He said that wasn't brave of him.
That wasn't brave.
There and being stung.
Right? Because that's the only thing he could do. He's not gonna let his daughter. Like, that's just in his head. That's not as, you know. Once you're a dad and shit, if you're a good dad, if you're a good parent, you know what I'm saying? Like, your kid coming harm to your kid, that's just not an option. Like, it's just if you can, like, you know, take the hit, I guess, take the blows instead of your child, protect your child, like, you'll do whatever it is. Like, it's not that he was brave, because he wasn't like scared. I mean, honestly, he probably just wasn't like, oh, I really don't fuck with wasps, like, I really don't want to get stung, but like, it's not, there wasn't an alternative, because like, the alternative in reality is she gets stung, but as a parent, that's just not an option. So you're gonna do what you have to do so she's safe. So that's code. But then going back is like, damn it, I already got fucked up once. Like, God damn, I don't want to go back. But, you know, he went back and, yeah. Like, there were two options. Then he could have been like, you know, just fuck that. I'm going to buy new glasses. But he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm broke as shit. Like, I got to go back. Probably, like, shed a few tears going back because he's already, like, fucked up and limping. But, you know what I'm saying? He went back.
It was
That's
the
code.
only thing he could
I like
do.
that.
But going back again to get his glasses, when he knew the wasps were there, when he was really scared, That was brave. When you're scared but you still do it anyway,
That's
brave.
brave.
That message repeats itself several times throughout the rest of the story, and if there's any moral to be gathered from Coraline, this is it. So I was really disappointed when I watched the movie and the only reference to it was a single line of dialogue.
Be strong, Coraline.
It just seems like a missed opportunity to convey something really positive and encouraging to the kid audience the movie was supposedly intended for. Anyway, Coraline ventures back to her other home where she confronts her other mother, who of course denies all responsibility. The mother then orders a rat to bring her the key to the magic door. She locks it and then drops the key in her apron pocket, instead of swallowing it like in the movie. Then, being that she doesn't have much of a choice, Coraline goes to sleep in her other room. The next morning, Coraline changes out of her nightgown into some clothes that were in her other closet. And when she puts the magic stone in her pocket, she comments that her head cleared up a little, as if she had come out of some sort of fog. The power of the Adderstone. She starts to explore the property with her partner in crime, the Black Cat, and while doing so learns that the other mother didn't recreate everything perfectly. She only made as much as she had to in order to fool Coraline, because she's a lazy Coraline also learns from the cat that the other mother is called the Bedlam, a word that means a scene of uproar and confusion, or a mental institution. How appropriate. When Coraline gets back in the house, the Bedlam proposes they do some mother-daughter things. Play some games, do some embroidery, sew buttons into her eyes, the usual. But Coraline says no, and the Bedlam gets furious. She picks up Coraline, carries her kicking and screaming down the hallway, and throws her into a dark place behind a mirror, leaving the girl shrouded in darkness and completely alone. And that solo fan will do it for part 1 of Coraline Explained.
Oh, what?
Your thoughts on it down below.
Oh, yo.
To tune in next
okay, look, like this movie, but like this is cool. I'll fuck with this. Let me know if y'all want to see part 2. I mean, I'm kind of interested. I might still watch it, or maybe not if I ain't got time. I don't know. But let me know if y'all want to see another reaction. I fuck with this because it's like bringing the book into the movie. Like we already saw, the movie Explained, but with the book, it's like a different perspective of it, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. Thank you for watching, y'all. Yeah, it's still like, fuck this movie.